Nuclear energy is formed as uranium-235. A neutron is shot at uranium-235 and then it breaks into two separate parts. These parts release a deuteron, which then collides with the nuclei of uranium-238 and 235. This causes a chain reaction and heat is created. This heat is turned into steam, which eventually turns the turbines, creating the power.
Nuclear energy is mostly found in the US, Canada, Russia, South Africa, and Australia, and the countries that use it the most are the US, Europe, and Japan.
Even though there's a lot of uranium on Earth, nuclear power is non-renewable because uranium is a finite resource.
In 1780, a German scientist, Martin Klaproth, discovered the element uranium, and in 1939, German scientists split the uranium atom, and in the US, they were creating the atomic bomb in the Manhattan Project, and in 1945, the US dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan. In 1957, the first American commercial nuclear power plant was created in Pennsylvania, and they were promoting nuclear safety. In other countries, they were starting to use nuclear power, but because of meltdowns, it is not as commonly used today.
Uranium is a naturally occurring element. It's found in rock deposits, and it is mined by subsurface and open pit mining. The uranium is then mined until it is pure uranium-238 and 235. Energy returned on investment of uranium is 10 to 1. It is usually valuable, but if too little is found in a mine, then it's possible for it not to be profitable.
After uranium is recovered, because it is highly reactive, it is stored in bunkers, and it can travel over long distances through cables because the primary use of this energy is electricity, but it is also used for nuclear weapons.
Nuclear power doesn't give off any air pollution other than water vapor. It doesn't burn anything, so no greenhouse gases other than water vapor are produced into the air, so no CO2. Another benefit of nuclear power is a lot of uranium is stored on Earth, so there's a long time use for this as long as the use of uranium is sustainable. Another benefit of nuclear power is that it generates a lot of power with not a lot of uranium, so it doesn't take a lot of uranium to produce more power than like wind or solar or anything like that. However, there are some disadvantages to nuclear power. For example, radioactive waste is a big problem for nuclear power. Like tailings can come in after the mining, and this can cause water pollution and acidify the soil. However, a huge drawback of nuclear power is the accidents that can occur. Meltdowns can occur, for example, in Japan. At the Fukushima plant, there was a tsunami that hit and an earthquake which caused a major meltdown and harmed many people. These can occur from natural events such as tsunamis, earthquakes, and tornadoes. Also, the rods in the nuclear reactors must be kept watched because they are still reactable, so even after the plant closes, they still need to be regulated.
An environmental impact is during open pit mining. It can cause damage to the environment in places like Canada and Australia. This will cause species to either adapt or move to other locations. It can also bring in invasive species. Because the soil is now ruined, it may not be able to sustain the original vegetation, and the radioactive waste pollutes the water and soils. Nuclear electricity costs about the same as getting electricity from a different source, and as for the future, nuclear energy holds great promise as environmental technology will allow us to reduce our unsustainable consumption of fossil fuels, use less land, and produce fewer greenhouse gases. But in order for the industry to reach its full potential, we need to find a way to reduce construction costs, address public health, and environmental safety issues.